up out my forest, they looked into my room. I was only 4 years old, I didn't know what to do. I was playing muscle man with a friend, I think the dude was named Vernon. He saw the M16s and stepped away from the curtains, and they kicked in the door. This is the DEA. They saw my father, and then they fucked up his face, and they cruised up the stairs with their M16s. They busted into my room and scared the fuck out of me. I saw my mama, I said, what the fuck's happening? She said, we're busted. I said, what the fuck does that mean? She said, for growing the weed under the basement floor. I said, the plant that dad smoked. She said, but there's more. They're gonna take up our house, they're gonna take all your toys, they're gonna take away data, they're gonna put them in bars, they're gonna take all our money, they're gonna take all your cake. The next day was my birthday, I'm not being fake. These motherfuckers, they're called the DEA, they're called the CIA, they're called the NSA, and today they listen to everything that you say, but you don't give a fuck, you just go about your day. You're they keep a file on everyone and we pretend that we're dumb. We sell all our metadata, it's worth more than a sum, but they don't give us back none because they know that we're numb. We got some stupid motherfuckers that just want to be safe, and they'll give up their freedoms, man, they'll give up their say. They spend $1 million on education just to join up the slaves. You're not American.
Welcome to Dangerous Thoughts, everybody, to the electrifying realm of dangerous thoughts. Here we fearlessly plunge into the turbulent waters of controversy, exploring the untamed territories deemed too risky for discussion. But fear not, for this fearless sanctuary, we fear no topic, no concept. We unravel the strands of what society deems perilous, inviting you to join our mission, to delve deeper and to challenge assumptions, to embolden discourse. And guess what? You're not a mere spectator. You're an integral part of this riveting show. Join us. Link arms with the DT family. Click on our Discord and activate your voice in our Q&A segment. Tonight, we have a special experiment on remote viewing. So fasten your seatbelts and put on your hats and glasses, kids, because this is a wildish ride in the wilderness. Welcome to Dangerous Thoughts. I'm your host, Monuente Reme. While we go live, we usually have a bunch of people listening. We're doing this experiment on remote viewing tonight, and we want people to participate. So please click on our Discord link. It'll be flying through at the bottom of the show very soon. And
actually, if I may interject, I just posted a link to join us directly here in the studio on all of our comments on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. If anybody would like to join in on this experiment, click that link.
Yeah, hit that link, because we only have 2 spots left, I think. 2 or 3?
Something like that. But
it's really cool because remote viewing is, for lack of a better understanding myself, our government has been using, and our military has been using remote viewing for a number of subjects. They use people that have been trained in remote viewing to see enemy, see the future, possible future outcomes, see if there's bases on the moon from other nations or aliens, all sorts of questions. They train remote viewers, and they have been doing this for a very long time. It's not a joke. It's something that our government takes seriously and has taken seriously for a long time. And we have Michelle Freed, who is an amazing human being, who's been an integral part of Dangerous Thoughts and getting our show on the program behind the scenes. She's been helping us out quite a bit. And she's also, just so happens, a remote viewer herself, probably CIA. Like I say, almost all our guests, likely CIA spies, keeping track of me to see if I can join the program someday and get to kill people legally. That's really what I'm hoping for. But we're going to skip completely over the monologue tonight. Tyson, what do you think? This is my co-host, Tyson. He's right over there. And, is there anything you wanted to chat about that happened this week that we should at least touch base on before we go into the experiment?
Boy, I didn't watch a lot of news this week other than Saturday.
Neither did I.
South Carolina, right? They had their primaries, so I watched a little bit of that.
Well, I just
Well,
figured.
it was a
Mark.
sling. It was a sling.
No,
It-
I thought it
yeah.
was 60-40. That's not a slang. The
You know,
blacks. I'm getting all the
I was,
votes from the blacks. I heard him say.
God, I hate that idiot. I was actually thinking the very same thing. He's an incumbent president, or was, your former president. Biden is an incumbent, and Biden's numbers, he has a couple of Democratic challengers, but he's in the high 80s, low 90s, like you would expect an incumbent to be. That's where I would expect Trump, if he was a normal incumbent, to be pulling those numbers, not 60-40. 60-40 tells me that there's a large chunk of the Republican Party that
He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose.
you can't win a general. He'll win his primary for sure. He will be the Republican nominee. But if he's doing 60-40 in his own caucus, he's not going to win the general. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Did you say caucus?
I said caucus.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a pause between the cock and the us there.
I got excited in between syllables. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. So our experiment tonight, super exciting. Here's the deal. Without knowing much about remote viewing, I talked to our guest tonight, Michelle, who we love so much. And we just want to spill our gratitude to her tonight for being so much of an integral part of behind the scenes at Dangerous Thoughts. But we talked to her about a last minute remote viewing experiment. And so what I did is I went out on a little excursion before the show tonight, and I filmed where I went, and I tried to put real emotion behind the things I saw and the things that I filmed in this location. And I'm hoping that after Michelle tells us about remote viewing and that we quiz her, the first few guests tonight that get to be a part of the experiment will be able to try to be a remote viewer. They'll get a very quick, lesson on how to remote view. To be an actual remote viewer for the government, I'm sure you have to take lots of classes, and I'm sure it's much more than we'll give these folks tonight. But it'll be enough to give them a try, and we're going to see if they can see what I saw on my excursion, and we have the video of everything that I shot. So it should be a fun experiment. Are there any other folks that want to take place in the experiment tonight, Cassie?
We have 3 so far, and it would be nice to get one more. So
yeah.
If anybody out there wants to click that link.
If you're out there, click that link. Where's the link at?
It's in the comment section everywhere we are streaming.
Okay, so go to the comment section, click on that link, and you can be the 4th and 5th person to participate in the experiment. Do we have Val yet?
Val is not here.
Okay, I'm going to harass her real quickly. Tyson, why don't you bring on Michelle Freed and start talking to her while I harass my wife to participate in this.
Well, hello, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you. Something Manu just barely touched on, in addition to the fact that you're going to be a wonderful guest tonight. I'm really excited for this experiment. For the last 7 months, all of the people that we've been able to book for this show and to get on this show, I don't know if everybody knows, Michelle Freed has been like our booking agent. Without Michelle, we wouldn't be nearly this successful. So right off the start, I want to say thank you so much. We owe you so much. Very, very happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you for introducing us to all your amazing friends. They've been a joy to talk to.
You guys are doing a great job. I think, you have a different kind of, I like your chemistry, and, it's a really good balance with, I love humor. So having a little humor and lightheartedness with some of the more serious topics too. So that's great.
Excuse me.
I was being sentimental there, and
you said humor, and so I thought I'd just let it go. What do you want me to do? Hide it?
Well, no, but you kind
push
of
it down. If I push it down, it comes out the other end. It's even worse.
So Michelle, you see what I have to deal with on a weekly basis. Welcome to the show.
What I have to deal with. This is my co-host. And I'm
Yeah,
pointing at
I'm
your
over here.
frozen face, which is very strange. Your face
I
is
know. It
frozen.
looks like I'm kissing.
Yeah, you're
Going
kissing
to-
something, like you're or
Yeah.
sniffing a flower or something.
Yeah, sure.
Random parenthetical for while you're frozen. If you could go back in history and watch anything that's happened, but had no ability to change what happened, what would you go back and watch?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I have to pick one. There's just a billion things.
Tyson, Cassie, you can answer while she thinks about it. What do you think? What would you
I
go
have to-
back and watch? The Titanic sinking? Is that you, Tyson? You fucking terrible co-host.
I don't know if I would go back or if I'd go forward. I think I'd be a lot more interested to see where humanity goes from here. Just look at the world today. Look at the wars that are happening. In 300-400 years' time, will we be a Star Trek society, or will this be a burnt up rock that no longer hosts life?
Or will it be
That concerns me.
like post-apocalyptic zombie land where we're
Right.
just killing each other and eating each other? I hope not.
20
It'd be much better if we did better than that.
Yeah. I like going forward. That's good too.
Okay, so well that wasn't the question though. If
I
you can go
know.
back in time and you couldn't affect history, but you could watch, is there anything that you could that you'd like to see?
May of 1453,
And what's that?
the fall of Constantinople. I
Oh,
think that would be amazing to watch.
Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople on a Thursday night, on a moonlit night. Yeah. Why are you so interested in Istanbul?
I just think that was an epic battle.
Just an epic battle that you'd love to just watch. It would be cool to see because I was
turning point in history. I think that was.
I was talking to this with Valerie earlier about like back in the day, PTSD must have been much worse because people killed themselves with swords and arrows and knives, and they really did like close up. You could feel the death damage. I think PTSD in those times was probably much worse than now, where when you can cap a guy from 3 miles away and just deal with that. There was, I don't know, more honor in warfare when we just hacked each other up. Yeah, I'd like to watch that battle too. I would go back if anybody else doesn't have an answer to the random hypothetical. Anybody?
Oh, I would
Well-
say Kennedy.
Oh, that's a good
Good
one.
one.
I have to know who did it. I want to just like. I want
It's not just,
you.
but it's not just about going back there. It's where from what perspective, right? Would you want to be on the grassy knoll to see if somebody was on the other side of that fence? Would you want to be in the book depository? Would you want to be like where would you be for this event? That's the question.
A bird's eye view. I'd be floating about 20 feet above the whole, 50 feet above the whole area, just looking down and watching the whole thing.
Like
in
a remote
progress.
viewer, just seeing every
Oh
part
gosh,
of the
yeah, look
situation.
at that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good answer. Tyson?
Well, there's some biblical things I'd like answers to. Like, what if you were there for the first day of the flood on Noah's Ark? What if you were there for the crucifixion of Jesus or the building of the pyramids? I mean, there's a lot of interesting historical that we really don't know the answer to. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Was it real? Was it not real? Be interesting to go back and see for oneself, right?
Yeah, and I just want to see the 1972 Dolphins' perfect season.
That's what you would do with the power. Very good.
That's such a lame answer. I had to give it for those football fans out there. So the problem is Michelle is still frozen. Did you sign in and sign out? And I mean, we
Me?
can still, yeah. For some
You wanted
reason,
me
we
to
still
do
got
that?
to.
I didn't think I ever left. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Tyson,
Okay.
Cassie, what do you think?
Cassie, you're muted. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been working over here. I actually just sent her a text to try unplugging her camera and plugging it back in, just the USB.
Oh, just the
Okay.
camera? Oh,
Yeah, I've had to do that too. I've been turned off where the government looked at my face and they're like, nope. And then I
Well,
had to
yeah, that might be the
unplug
thing
it.
because Michelle has told me behind closed doors, and I hate to throw her under the bus, but she has told me that she remote views for some government. I don't know if it's ours or not. I think it is,
yeah.
but yeah, I think she's been a
Oh,
part of that program for a
yeah,
while.
we
So
did.
maybe they see her and they're like, no, we're not going to let her speak tonight.
I don't think. I mean, come on. So I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and we're still. I think I may have to sign out and sign back in.
The
You are a
buzzer.
very hit your camera. You are a very cute little like white speaker thing right now. That
Emoji.
little speaker
Basic
emoji.
Emoji,
Little-
I guess.
hit your camera. See if it lets us see you.
If you
Yeah,
use start
didn't-
cam, stop cam at the bottom.
Oh,
And have we gotten lucky enough to get
Yes.
any
We
more?
have 4 people.
Oh,
all ready to
awesome.
go.
All right. So when Michelle comes back, we will start the experiment, and we'll start to talk to Michelle about some remote viewing stuff. Right now, I'll read you a little bit about Michelle. Michelle Freed is a talented and certified remote viewer and instructor with expertise in controlled remote viewing. She has completed programs through organizations like the APP, Right Hemisphere, and Intuitive Specialist, and has received additional training from Joe McMoneagle. That's it. Joe McMoneagle. Michelle is an active member of IRVA, IRVA, and has conducted notable research in the field of remote viewing. Her experimental work has earned her recognition, including the prestigious Warehouse Prize in 2017. Oh, not Warehouse, War Collier?
yeah. Well, yeah,
Collier. Cool.
yeah.
In 2017, Michelle's published contributions can be found in esteemed publications such as the Journal of Psychical
Research.
Cyclical, that's hard to say, Research and Parapsychology Association and 8 Martinis Magazine. Michelle's talents extend to the world of media, where she appears in the documentary Third Eye Spies and on an episode of Ancient Aliens. She is also the associate producer of the documentary Flash of Beauty, Paranormal Fighter. So here she is, Michelle Freed. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the program.
It's good to be here again.
Yeah. I forgot. As an esteemed producer, she played a key role in Art Bell's show Midnight in the Desert and co-owns Midnight FM Network. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that real? I didn't know that. Okay, you're amazing. Presently, she serves as the producer of Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, a good friend of mine, fantastic show. In addition, her diverse pursuits, Michelle is the visionary behind LITM Media Incorporated, where she assists authors and podcast hosts with effective marketing and publicity. And you can go to the website, www.butterflyeffectcenter.com. She also has Michelle... what's the lit media? Oh, LITM, lit M.
Michelle. It's like leave it to Michelle.
Leave it to michellemedia.com. So litmmedia.com. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I mean, you covered almost everything.
Besides everything he just said.
I'm also a physical therapist, which I was like, the bio's so long. There's just, and I guess that just means you're old when the bio's so long. But yeah,
as I get older, my bio shrinks because I think those real super, super long bios, like nobody wants to read that, right? They just want to read. It's like we're in the world of what did you do for me lately? What did you do now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so
I just got a message that we're good to go for the remote viewing.
Awesome.
Our people.
Okay, so we're going to start the show with this idea me and Michelle talked about where I went out before the show and I went on a little trip on my own and I filmed some things and I tried to experience those things and film those things in a very as present as I could be manner. And we have like I think 5 people that are interested in doing the remote viewing experiment. So Michelle's going to tell them a little bit about remote viewing and how to do it, and we'll start that experiment off before we get into more conversation.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring them on.
So thank you, Dave Prime. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Javi R. And are you serious, Javi? We got my wife is not doing this. She's still not here. What a letdown. I didn't even tell her I was going. I'm going to go home and beat the crap out of her and get a court case for this.
That's how all that started.
Hey, that's a dangerous thought.
That's a dangerous thought right there, right?
Yeah, you need to be good, Manu.
I don't hit ladies. Give me a break. All right, Katie. Katie's going to participate. That's cool. We got 4 of us. This is going to be exciting and fun. So, Michelle, tell them about remote viewing and how we get this
I'd like
going.
to start. Has anybody here ever remote viewed before?
No.
Okay.
I live in Ramona, California. Everything I view is remote.
Okay.
I've done it on several occasions back, but it's been like 10 years.
I've used the remote.
Okay. That's good. And the kind of remote viewing, was it the military kind of remote viewing, or you just tuned into something and were able to describe where somebody was or something like that?
The second thing you said.
Okay, great. So so this remote viewing that we're talking about today actually is kind of framed in the world of science. And so there's a set protocol, and but that will be for another show to really talk about that. I teach classes, and it takes about 6 weeks to teach it, the whole protocol. But today we're going to do something really fun. It's called an outbounder, and it's more of a freestyle of remote viewing. So I just want to give you a little quick and dirty instruction of how to do it. So I have some notes here to just make sure I stay on track because of time. But the first thing that we always start with a cool down. And that means that you just want to relax yourself and clear your mind. You don't want to have any kind of guesses or preconceived notions or anything like that when you start. You just really want to be at a place of, blank, canvas. If you do have an advanced perception, which means like you started guessing, because we can't help it. Sometimes someone says, hey, I have a target for you. And then you go, oh, I know what it is. So then you just kind of write it down on the piece of paper and set it aside. Okay. So just don't think about it again, because it may or may not be correct. And we don't want to rely on it. I'm going to give you a target number. It's a random number that Cassie and Manu made up, and it's associated with the target. And so, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with that number when we start. So just so that you put that to the side of your mind. And what I'd like you to do when we're ready is I'd like you to start imagining with your mind, gonna open up your mind and project your subconscious to the target. Okay, you're actually projecting, this is kind of wild, you're going into the future. You're actually going into the future to the moment when we're going to show you a video, and you're going to be describing that video before you see it in real life. So that is your intention, is to project your consciousness to this video that you will be seeing at the end of the show. And you're going to describe the location and anything that you perceive there. And what I ask is that you use your body like an antenna. and you're going to engage all your senses. So you're going to ask yourself, what do I smell? What do I taste? What do I see? You're going to ask yourself, like, if you perceive something, kind of reach out and touch. Like, does it feel smooth? Does it feel bumpy? And one of the reasons and how this works, I'm kind of rushing through it because I want to make sure I can get all this in before we start. But slow me down if I'm going too fast. If I the way our brain works, we have, as you know, your left brain and your right brain. And when any time that we want to tap into the subconscious, we have to kind of turn down the left brain because the left brain wants everything to make sense. And when you're going into this mindset of your subconscious, it operates from a place of it doesn't know language. It only knows what it feels, what it senses. Like every word or thought is connected to a feeling. So that's how you're subconscious. So you have to learn how the left brain and the right brain can communicate. And so we've done in the world of remote viewing lots and lots and lots of research on what's going on between that connection. So what we kind of deduce, bless you, is that we want you to describe things and not name them. So, for example, if I said, I'm perceiving something red, shiny, and round, okay? Your left brain is going to go red, shiny, round, oh, probably an apple. But if we're doing a case, like a missing persons case, and that red, shiny, round is actually applied to maybe a red truck that will be near this missing person, then if you're walking around and describing an apple, it's going to set you off course and you're going to start describing a banana and an orange and a fruit basket. And so it'll, your left brain will take you off the target and you won't be able to find the missing person. So what we do is we just describe things. We want to know, are they natural? Are they man-made? Is there water there? Is there a surface? Is there a subject? Sometimes we do targets that are esoteric. So we've actually, no joke, have been paid to remote view aliens or UFOs and things like that. So when we get a subject, our first question is this subject human or non-human? And then we describe the subject. We don't name it. We just like, it has red hair, it has freckles, a big nose, it's a male, it's a female. So that's what you're going to be doing in this like real quick session. So again, pay attention to all your senses and what your body feels. And you can also talk to yourself and move yourself around. So for example, if you tell yourself that you landed at the target and you're going to describe it, kind of look around, what is really surprising? What do you notice? It's, oh, there's water here. Oh, there's a man-made something. Let me describe it. It's bumpy. It's a round shape. It's a cylindrical. It's transparent. Use all those words to describe what you're perceiving. Okay, so any questions about any of that? I know
I have a couple questions. Should they write down notes about what they see in their mind as well as sketch?
That's what I was going to do next. I'm going to talk about how to do that next.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
So is this kind of like a psychic ability, or is it just something that anybody could do if they tap into it?
Anybody can do it, and yes, it's a psychic ability.
Okay.
It's really your subconscious. It's what we already have.
Right.
Another word for psychic is intuition. So, all day long we have a feeling, when you say, oh, I have that feeling about something, we find that the best remote viewers are CEOs of successful companies. Because when they decide where to put money and we ask them, how did you make that decision? They're like, my gut told me.
My intuition, my gut.
My intuition. So those are some of the best remote viewers. So anyway, so
I was just talking with I was actually watching a show recently with it was like a detective show, and all these homicide detectives were talking about their gut and always trusting their gut and always seeing out into the future with their gut. And this is a little bit off the topic, but at the same time on topic. I think our organs, like our gut and our heart, are much more dynamic in our intuition and our feelings than we give them credit for. I think people think everything happens in the brain, but I think your heart actually does send you messages, and your gut does send you messages, and your different organs do help you perceive things.
That's a great point, because I talk a lot about, with my past in hypnosis and studying of the mind, the regular psychologist will split the mind into two parts. They say the subconscious or the conscious and the unconscious. But what we do is we split it into three parts. You have the conscious, which is your analytical thinking, critical thinking. Your subconscious, which is what I'm talking about. It has permanent memory and it operates from emotions and feelings. And then your unconscious are the parts of your body, like eyes blinking, your heart pumping, that you're not aware of. And what happens is, however you feel in your subconscious affects what happens in your body. So a lot of people that say, oh, I have a cold because I've been stressed. That's true. Or I have a migraine from stress. Those are emotional. So when we're using remote viewing for healing, we want to find out what their physical problem is connected to the origin of it. And it always takes us to some emotion, some kind of feeling thing. So for the session that we're going to do you guys all have paper and a pen? Okay, so what I want you to do is fold your paper into three parts like this. Okay.
Oh, this is fun.
And these are going to be like three columns, okay? So when you're remote viewing, I forgot to tell you this, and you get something that's like red, shiny, and round, and you go, oh, it's an apple. That we have a name for that. It's called an AOL. It's analytical overlay. That's it, it's an AOL. So there, Joe McMoneagle, who's one of the best remote viewers from the military, amazing person, he once said, Michelle, if you want to be a world-class remote viewer, you need to give up what it is to be human. And I'm like, what the heck are you? Am I an alien? What do you mean? And he's like, no, you have to, because you have to give up what makes sense when you're remote viewing. So, 90% of the time, an apple isn't an apple. It's all subjective in your session. So you really have to be describing things. But because we're human, you have to train yourself to learn to kind of use a gauge, maybe to turn down your left brain and turn up your right brain, so that you're not engaged in that left brain so much. And that's like a martial art. It's like
And
takes
what does the left brain do mostly?
the left brain is
Critical.
that analytical. It will draw a conclusion based on a pattern. It's critical thinking. So it'll either draw a conclusion or
That's
make
what
an
I thought.
assumption and things like that. And the subconscious is just what things feel like. And you're more accurate when you're feeling something, because that's more of the truth of what feels. So, because something that you draw a conclusion or make an assumption could be wrong, because everything is subjective from one person to another. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So we have these three columns. So when you're looking down, the column on your left, that first one, that one is going to be the column for your perceptions. Okay, perceptions are like, if you're going to have the target number that we give you, and you're going to kind of hold that in your mind's eye, and all of a sudden you're going to start getting something that you perceive. You might get a color or a shape. It's going to be like a shadowy thing. You're not necessarily going to get a whole picture of something. You're going to just get like as if somebody holds up a picture this fast. Did you see that? Okay, so it's like a blink. So all you got was maybe I saw red or like a shape. That's all you're going to really see when you start. But then once you spend some time, you're going to start unpacking what these things are. So in remote viewing, it's not necessarily that you're going to act like if the target is the Eiffel Tower, it's not the Eiffel Tower, just saying.
I couldn't get there in time.
Okay, so if the target was the Eiffel Tower, you're not actually usually you don't see the Eiffel Tower, but you will see a rising man-made structure with lines that cross and arch shapes. So that's what you're going to be doing is that's the perception. So the perception is, what do I smell? So you guys take a minute, smell, what do you smell? The other thing is lick the target. If there's some object, lick it. That's really important. I know it sounds hilarious, but
like lick it in your mind's eye.
Yeah, like if we're finding a missing person, right? And say we perceive a body of water, it's really important to know, is that water salt water or is that water fresh water? Because that will tell us where the missing person, give us more clues. So yeah, licking the target can really help us. I know it sounds sometimes.
I swear to God, if you film cat shit, Manu, I'm going to kick your ass.
I didn't film any poo
All
poo.
right.
I didn't tell him that part ahead of time, so you're probably safe. Yeah, and then also feel around, like, do things feel smooth or bumpy? You know, all sorts of the textures, the sizes, the shapes. Is something hollow or is it solid? You can kind of like knock on it. What kind of sound does it make when you knock on it? So obviously you don't have a lot of time to learn all this, but I'm just giving you the quick. Okay, so the first column is your perceptions. The second column.
And so the first column, they just write words or pictures too?
Just words.
Okay.
Just words. But as you're writing the words, you're going la la la. Then all of a sudden you start, oh wait, I'm getting a shape, a picture. Sketch it in the middle. If you get something that you feel like you need to sketch, and you don't have to be a good artist, trust me, I'm stick figures all the way. So you put your picture in the middle, you sketch out a shape or whatever it is. And if for some reason you have to name something, like there's a tree, then put the tree all the way over here. Just write the word AOL and then write tree and then kind of just forget it and then go back to describing things. So it's perceptions, sketches, and then if you name something, an AOL. And then of course,
what does AOL mean?
Analytical overlay. And so that's when you want to name it.
So that's like I want to name it and then I want to go back to focusing, right?
We don't want to hang on
to dwell on it.
Because you don't want to dwell on it because, like the apple, what happens is your mind starts tricking you. And if it was a truck and you start describing a fruit basket, so that's going to be a problem, because unless that person's near a fruit basket, there's no way you're going to find them. But the red truck will be helpful. So that's all right. And then what we're going to do is give you a target number, and you're going to put the target number at the very top of your paper. Okay. So spend like 2 minutes to just cool down. You can do that on your own. And then,
what does cool down mean? Just take some deep breaths, chill out, try to get focused. Yeah.
You want to clear your mind. Did you have a question?
I said Wusa.
What is the third column for? So we have perception, sketches, and
AOLs, like if you name something.
Okay.
If something just hits you, like I've got to write this down, you write it down, but then you let it go.
Let it go. And then just go back to your perceptions. And then just go. You can even tell yourself, move, 50 feet above the target and describe. You can say, walk through the doorway. If there's a doorway, you can move yourself around. become an object and, yeah, I was going to say feel yourself, but I get to kind of feel yourself, like it, or get into a position of the object.
Well,
So,
it's what I was doing during my whole excursion
right.
that I shot on the way over here.
Yeah.
I was feeling things and I was touching things and I
And
was I
that,
was
yeah.
I was
So there.
trying to experience them so that someone else could tune into them. So
Okay. So this is going to be very cool. I can't wait to see what you guys get. All
great.
right. So at the top of your paper, I'm going to write the target. I think we're going to let you guys go off air while you do the session. I
Yeah.
think we're giving you like 10 minutes. I think you should get a lot in 10 minutes. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
And
Yes?
remember, I was driving over to the show tonight and I filmed a number of things on my way here, mostly at one location. And I'd love to see what you guys see.
Okay, here we go. Target number 0647 7773. One more time. Target number 0647 7773. Okay, and just quiet down for a couple minutes and then just do your thing. Whatever you get, you get.
Was that 4 sevens?
3 sevens.
7.
0647 7773.
That's Manu's password for his bank account.
That's the video target that we're going to show later on in the show that you guys are going to watch right now in your heads. All right, we're going to let them go and do their thing. That's awesome. So you said that you produced Art Bell's show Midnight in the Desert. What was that about, and what was it like doing that?
So Art, he started probably.
By
as
the
you
way,
know,
if people don't know who Art Bell is, shoot yourself. Seriously.
he kind of paved the way. He paved the way for all these kind of high strange shows. He started Coast to Coast Radio, and back in the 80s and 90s, and then he left and went to Sirius Radio, and then started Midnight in the Desert. And I was at a point in my life where I was, I raised my kids, and it was time to find a real job. And I was in the remote viewing world, and I had some friends that had books. So I'm like, hey, go big or go home. So I put in the subject line, I wrote, go big or go home. And I started pitching a friend of mine and his book. So I get a phone call, and they're like, hi, yeah, we love your guy. Tell us more. And I'm like, okay, I'm pitching the guy. They're like, yeah, he's great. And then that was it. I didn't hear for like a month. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta really, work for this one. So finally I get like a month and a half later, I get this woman calls me, and she's like, hi, I am so sorry. She's like, we just lost our producer and I'm so behind. And I don't know what happened. I don't know, something came through me, and I just went, hire me. And she was speechless. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, hire me, I'll do it. And she's like, well, I have to test you out. And I'm like, okay. She didn't ask for a resume, nothing. So in 3 days I booked 2 weeks of shows, and Art told her, you better hire her right now. And so I got hired, and I worked there until he passed away. And
Wow.
yeah,
So it was, for what years was that?
the 2014, or I don't.
Yeah,
I
around that time. It's tough.
2018, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how and who's doing Coast to Coast now? Is it George Norrie still?
George
or-
Yeah,
Norrie, I
George.
think.
Coast to Coast, amazing stuff for anyone that hasn't taken a listen. It's a great show, kept alive to this day. Oh, wow. Past life regression. What do you know about past life regression?
Oh, I do them.
Oh, you do them? You're like a hypnotist.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay,
So,
tell me a little bit about this.
so
I've always wanted to do this. The only time I did a past life regression was once on tape, and I didn't get much more than a vision of me trying to crawl into a burning building, and like I thought I might be in London, like during the fire of London, and this old lady tapped me and said, "Don't go in there." And then I had a vision of me crawling in and then getting crushed by fires and bored.
oh no. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a happy story.
yeah, it
Well,
wasn't fun,
or
but
Jesus or Cleopatra, those are the usual. Some reason everybody be
So
everybody
if
thinks
it,
they
if
were
it's
Jesus.
if it's Manny Pacquiao, would that be a past life aggression? I'm just curious.
right.
Yeah.
Aggression. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, so yeah, so hypnosis, hypnotherapy. So I generally use it in the form of hypnotherapy. So if we're working with somebody on some habit that they want to get rid of, um, oh, somebody's at,
Good
yeah,
question.
we do it on Zoom and Skype, yes.
Cool.
And and so we can work with people that have like a fear of something when we want to find out the origin of the fear, like where did that fear come from? We can go back as far as they want it to go. But I'll tell you, and then so that's the serious part, the very like therapeutic stuff that we do. But what's a little bit more exciting is that in this 1 year, this is crazy. 3 people, none of them knew each other in 3 different parts of the United States and Canada. One in Canada, one in California, and one in Illinois. And they called me through the course of a year. None of them knew each other. And they're like, do you do past, could you regress me? Because I think I was abducted by an alien. So my thoughts are always like, well, like I don't want to judge, but like maybe they had a lucid dream or, I don't know. How do I know if it's true? But hey, this might be fun. Let's see what we get. So I
You
have,
might be a CIA alien yourself. We don't know.
it's true. Like just, be careful you don't rip off my skin. You might see
I won't go that far. That's a
the
little bit too
lizard,
risky to
the
prove a
lizard in
point.
there.
Yeah.
But
One of your people told me that I was a lizard being.
one of my people.
Yeah, one of your guests that you booked for us
Oh,
told me that I was absolutely a lizard being, and I
well, I
just
gotta
didn't know
think
it.
who I booked so that would say that.
But so
Um,
past life regressions can also be like
yeah, and what was weird is these 3 people all started describing being off planet and living in water and able to breathe in water. And they were describing, and they were all like the same story. And I was just like, like, am I in the Twilight Zone? They had said they could see colors. They couldn't even explain what the colors were. There were species of plant life and that they have never seen before. And they were breathing water and they didn't feel like they were on this planet. And I was like, whoa, I don't even know what to think of that. So, but if anybody out there has had this experience, like email me in water.
honestly not off planet, but I have 2 memories, very distinct memories of when I was like 7 years old. I had one of those little swimming pools that are like 4 feet, 3.5 feet deep, that my dad had placed for me. And I remember laying underneath the swimming pool and just breathing. And I went and told my dad I could do that, and I wanted to show him. And he said, that's impossible. You can't do that. But I also have another memory of being in Idaho, where we had these 2 big houses that my dad used to grow weed in the basement, and we got busted for. But while I was living there, like from 3 to 8, we used to go to this hot springs called Zim's Hot Springs, and they had this big, deep swimming pool that was a hot spring. And I used to walk. I used to go down the stairs when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I would walk to the other side of the stairs, which were, a half a swimming pool length across. And I would breathe underwater. even remember standing in the deep end and staring up at this. I don't know if he was autistic or retarded or whatever the right word for it is, but he could barely swim, whatever the politically correct word for it is. I don't know what he had, but I could tell that he was slow and he had problems. He would kind of doggy paddle a little bit and then just get a breath of air and doggy paddle a little bit. And I remember standing on the bottom of that swimming pool and just looking at him, breathing in and out at, 6 or 7 years old. Not off planet, but I have very distinct memories of flying when I was a little kid and of breathing underwater when I was a little kid.
Was the flying in a dream?
I don't think so, no. Because I remember driving my snowmobile up to see my friend Matt, and I crashed the snowmobile, and I flew off the front, and I elevated myself up into the sky, and I flew around this tree, and I came back down and landed on the snowmobile. And this is when I was 7 or 8 as well. And I drove on to Matt's house so I wouldn't get hurt. And I have that memory very distinctly. Like, no, that wasn't a dream. I remember the other memory I have is walking into my room, jumping up into the air, curling into a ball, sort of spinning just in the air, and then floating into the back of my closet, and then sitting in my upper closet, just checking out my room. And neither of those feel like a dream. Of course, at this age, at 46, my mind goes, it's got to be a dream. That's a bunch of bullshit. But it feels real. So it doesn't feel like a dream. What?
What were you doing before that?
A lot of LSD. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, I didn't take
My mic is
LSD
on.
till I was 11. So wait a second.
11, that's pretty young.
I did.
Were you like meditating or anything where you were?
Well, my parents would make me meditate all the time. They would put crystals on me. They were, my name is Manu Entereme, and I'm an Irish Catholic descent. So obviously my parents were hippies. They would put amethysts and different crystals on my chakras, and they would have me meditate at a very young age. And I had some out of body experiences at that age. Never have I had out of body experiences since then, unless I was on ayahuasca or DMT, but just straight sober experiences at that age. Yeah.
And these experiences felt different than the ones that you had at OBE, or the cool people say OB.
Well, not only would I have out of body experiences when I was sober and doing these meditations that my parents would put me through, or they called it, what did they call it? They called it rebreathing, or my dad's going to kill me for not remembering the name of this. But I would also have them during fevers. I had these really, really high fevers between, 2 and 14, where I would leave my body. I would see the earth floating below me. I would be up there looking at earth. And then I would suddenly be on like a hot zip line headed straight for earth. And then I would hit my body and I would feel all this dirt and waves and fire and all these elements kind of hit my body, and demons would be in that dirt, or monsters of some kind would be reaching for me. And then I would come into my body and I would be in the bathtub, and my parents would be hitting me with ice water to try to get my fever down. But during these fever dreams, I had a lot of out-of-body experiences that were quite terrifying.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting.
All that period of my life between 1 and 8 years old, I saw aliens come in my room. I had out-of-body experiences. Lots of weird things happened to me back then. And it's really easy at this age to try to write them all off as just the imagination of a kid. But my heart and my gut, like we were talking about earlier, just saying, no, man, those things happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear so many, when I worked with art, I had to really kind of vet out people. And at that time, now a lot of people want to talk about it, but back then, people were afraid to talk about it. And so we were vetting out because there were some really wild, crazy stories. But for the most part, a lot of them really checked all the boxes, and you'd be so surprised at how many people have had experiences like that where they saw something and they know they saw it. So it's more common than people think. So
Yeah, I think millions of people have had these UFO abduction experiences, right? It's not just me. Um, and I don't ever remember getting abducted, but I do remember going down and sneaking out. Like, we lived way out in the boonies in Idaho, and there was no reason for me to sneak out at night at 6 years old and hike down into the forest behind my house. But I have all these memories of doing that and going to meet somebody there, and then I have no memory of who I met. Another weird thing that happened in that Idaho house. I would love to go back there. I've never gone back there since I've grown up and checked the place
yeah,
out.
that'll be
Um,
interesting.
so I who's Skinny Bob?
Skinny Bob. So, oh, you don't know about that?
No.
This was a video that was released on YouTube, and I forgot the date, but nobody knows who put it up there. You have to look it up. It'll blow your mind. It has not been debunked. And
The Skinny Bob video.
I'm sure that when you see it, you'll know. You'll go, oh, that one. We and our team at the time decided to remote view it. And we got some really, we have a lot of static there.
I think somebody's unmuted in their experiment.
Oh, they're probably ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, we remote viewed it, and really, it was connected to the crash, Area 51, and that there were survivors. And
Oh, that's Bob, the survivor of the crash that they had alive for a while.
yeah,
So did you see him?
we tuned into like a lot of his what was coming through for us were a lot of his emotions. He felt abandoned. He he was angry. He sad. There was just a lot of emotions about what was going on. So there is an actual video. I can probably send you the link where they took all our sessions and made a little documentary out of it on YouTube. And so you'll be able to see how remote viewing works in action, because
I'd
you'll
love
see.
to share that.
Okay, I'll send that. I'll remind myself to send that to you, because it shows like our sessions along with the information.
And how many things can you tell us about? I sort of just assume that if you're doing this kind of work for the government, that you have some kind of top secret clearance that you can't speak about certain things.
I mean, it was declassified in the 90s.
But you did have it at one point. So there are things you can't talk about.
I wasn't part of the group before. I'm not that old. Put it.
Oh, the original remote viewing experiment was declassified.
Yeah, I think that I think they kind of have an eye on us and what we're doing, but I don't think there's that fear kind of thing going on anymore. And there's just too many people remote viewing right now that I think they're looking for people that are doing something that we call remote influencing, where you can actually influence somebody, and those like people that have a derogatory intention. But I think people that are just doing what I'm doing, and helping missing people and things like that, I think I don't think they're trying to stop us or anything like that. I think they see that it's helpful, and it has. We've worked on, when I'm looking to create a team, because I get so many emails to help people and all different kinds of targets. One person called me. She was doing research on the Knights of the Templar, and she wanted our remote viewers to. She had a gap in her research, She wanted us to remote view something. We've worked on the Murdaugh case. That one in South Carolina, that
Alex
lawyer.
Murdaugh?
Yeah, we worked on that. We worked on one with the Homeland Security, which was on the Olympics of 2020. This is pretty cool. They had us work on it in 2019, and and so that
I'm
was
telling you, my whole show is just CIA agents and government people keeping track of what I say.
Yeah, you got to
go ahead. So no, 2020 Olympics. What did you do for that?
2019, they wanted to know what the top threats were. And so there were 3 of us, we did our session. And of course, we don't get the feedback until the Olympics come. So on my session, I had like two kind of narratives going on. One was I was talking about some kind of disaster of some sort. It looked like debris everywhere, and I wasn't sure if it was weather related. I was land and water interface. And keep in mind that number one, we didn't know it was Homeland Security. And number 2, I did know that we were doing the Olympics. They just said, Michelle, here's the target number, and didn't tell me anything else. And then I was getting like a computer virus and all this stuff. So I never heard back. Then the powerful and mighty pandemic happened, and in about I think 2021, I was like washing dishes and thinking about my session, and I'm like, wait a minute, I totally hit it. I was saying computer virus. This is where the left brain is a problem. I said computer virus. It was a virus. It just wasn't a computer virus. My left brain didn't think virus. It was like computer virus. So I totally hit on that. So that was crazy.
And you're talking about COVID, right? Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I just want to mention something because I think we're going to bring our guests back in. I think they've had enough time to sketch and do what they've done with the limited classes that they've had. Just a few seconds. But if you want to take Michelle's actual 6-week spring class, is it still March 16th?
Yes.
Yes. And you can go to, is it butterflyeffectcenter.com?
Yes.
And you can take Michelle's 6-week course on remote viewing if you're interested in this stuff and want to become better at it. And possibly down the road, do it for our government. Who knows?
Operational targets.
Yeah. So let's bring our guests back in and let's see what they've got. Let's see what they've perceived about. So remember, our guests were supposed to have looked into the future to this moment during the show, where we're going to play the video of what I did earlier and what I saw earlier on my excursion on the way over to the show, and see if they were able to pick up on any of the things that I saw while I was on my way over here that I filmed. So let's bring all our guests back in and see what they've got. Let's start with Dave Prime. Dave Prime, how'd it go for you? What did you see?
Well, there's an old saying from the paranormal group that I was with in Seattle. I'm as psychic as a sock.
You don't
Yeah, but I couldn't get anything on the analytical side of things. Like perceptions, I just got blue and police, and I, of course, sketched.
Oh my God! Oh, Dave, you nailed it in the middle.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to show you a couple of videos.
Let me tell you that the sketches are so important because that is tapped directly into your subconscious. So it sounds to me like your left brain, the analytical, was totally dominating your session because you're like, oh,
I suck. I'm not going to do anything.
And then what happens is we love sketches because sketches are connected directly with that subconscious or your intuition. So we absolutely love that. And sometimes sketches, you can turn the paper in different ways and you'll see that either someone was doing a bird's eye view, or they were looking at it this way or that way. So yeah, sketches are amazing.
Well, it's funny
So
because like
Dave, show me the what you drew again and what you wrote down. What did you write down in
will
the
say
far
like
left?
like police in blue, and then once you started talking, forget what word you were just talking a minute ago. I was immediately thinking quantum leap with the butterfly effect, because was like a big
What's
part
the
of
word at the bottom?
PQL, Project Quantum Leap.
Ooh, I like that too. And in the middle, you've got a picture of a rectangle. What else? What is that thing above the rectangle? A Bluetooth headset?
Yeah, saying that I had the urge to sketch it when I actually took it off my ear, put it on the paper. It's like, And then there in the middle, that's what an arrow.
Well, here's the cool thing, Dave. So go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to say, if you couldn't name that box in the middle, how would you describe it? Close your eyes. No, don't name it.
A police call box in Britain.
Okay, but if you weren't going to name it, you would say it's a rectangular, boxy, hollow, right? Rectangular box. Was there a color, a texture of it that you can? Was it hollow?
It was hollow. It definitely had like a wood grain texture to it.
Okay, good.
This is so cool.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get someone else. So
what did you get on the far right? Anything on the far right?
Zip.
All right, let's take Mike next. Let's see what Mike saw.
So what's going on?
What's up? And what did you see? What's on your far left of your paper? And like, what did you see when you were trying?
So, I seen like a date.
Like a what?
Like a date or something.
Like a date, like that you eat?
A date?
Or a date that you go on with a girl?
Like June or something.
Oh, June. I gotcha. A date.
Calendar date.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm like trying to picture everything, and it's like it's coming out like dates. Like
wow.
I'm just seeing a bunch of numbers, like a bunch of numbers.
Did you write them down?
Yeah, like a bunch of numbers, like I don't know, 6 million. Like I mean, that's like coming in my head. Like what is it? 6 million. Like money, a date to get paid, or a date for something to blow up, to get big or blow up or something.
He's looking into the future. I like that.
Yeah.
Did you sketch anything?
Yeah, most of the sketches like.
Let's see it. Show it to the camera.
Yeah, it's just like little money symbols and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I was just sitting here with my eyes closed, like really trying to think. I kept hearing y'all talk, so I was like, let me like leave real quick. And I'm like just trying to picture everything. And like it wasn't even pictures coming in my mind. It was just like dates. Or like, you know what I mean? Like I kept seeing money falling. So I kept drawing like the money symbol, or like a dollar sign or something. Like
so this is
like, let me see what's in that first column.
It says date, money.
Can you show it to the camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Date, money is in the first column. Let me see the sketch.
And then the sketches, I just drew little pictures of like money signs and stuff.
Wait, hold it again, because here's the thing, you get this idea in your head where the first thought is dates and money, and then everything after that kind of follows through with dates and money.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to put that over to the far right. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, because you don't want to be focused on that.
Because you were dominated by it.
Right.
It was just numbers. They just kept killing me. The numbers were killing me. I was trying to get it out of my head. Like what? Like just what does it mean? But it was just bringing me like daytime.
Yeah, but I'm interested. Hold the sketch up a little longer so we can see, because sometimes you could draw a shape of something that was there at the target,
Right.
and it maybe looks like money. Can you hold that up again? This sketch, this one we're talking about.
And I didn't know these poor guys had to hear us. Oh, hey, that sketch is actually pretty spot on.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's in your left brain's like, oh, it's money, but the truth is, it's
Yeah, but then
something at the
when I
target.
drew it, it looked kind of like a movie or like a picture or something. So I was like,
So what that
Yeah.
picture looks like to me, if you didn't tell me money, I'd say it's a square object with a circle in the middle. And
Right.
the
I
other
want you
one,
guys to look at the video at the same thing as Dave with the square objects, and also the money symbol on the graffiti when you see the graffiti.
okay, that's great.
All right.
Okay. Who's next? I can't wait.
Yeah, Katie. Let's see Katie's stuff.
Oh, I've been all over the place. I haven't opened myself up like that in years. I've got so much written down.
I love it. Well, start with the left column and tell us.
Well, everything that I've got written down in there, and I got a bit confused with the analytical overlay. Black, bumpy, soft, loud / grey, concrete with a question mark. Red, orange, brown, wooden box. That's where I got confused.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I also
that's amazing.
Perry's mixed with damp earth as well. I don't know where that came in.
Say that again. Perry's mixed with what?
Cherries.
Cherries mixed with
damp air.
Damp air. Well, you definitely spot on with the damp air.
And then wet and drip.
Mhm.
And I did some very strange sketches. And then I got here possibly a tire swing, a squirrel, fallen leaves, possibly maple, possibly a wheelbarrow or a motorbike. I just something with wheels on either. I just it was very weird. It kind of looks a bit more like a wheelbarrow that I've.
Can we see them?
Yeah, show the pictures.
A puddle and possibly a dripping.
Oh my God! You drew a picture of a puddle?
No.
She described it.
But you described a puddle in your words.
Yeah.
Oh, wheelbarrow,
Wow.
dripping drops. Wow, chipping. What's the bottom one say? Chipping what? Gutter?
Dripping gutter.
Dripping gutter. And we got a squirrel. We've got. Wow, no. Oh, what's that little piece of road on the right-hand side?
What is that?
That there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it goes with that.
And what's that?
A police siren.
Wow, everybody hit on the police. That's so strange.
You know what's weird? I drew like a black dot with a triangle on the other page.
You drew a black dot with a
It's like a big
on it?
black dot with a triangle, like where I drew the number at.
What number?
On a different page, though.
Doesn't matter what number.
It was just it was that number that y'all gave us. Like it was just a.
Okay, so who mentioned earlier? Somebody mentioned something about feeling textures and such. Who was that?
That's me.
And what kind of textures and stuff did you feel?
What? Wood grain.
All right, show the fence video. I took the time to put my I can't believe it's not in the video. That sucks. I took my time to put my hand on that fence and really grip it and feel that wood grain to try to, emote something to you guys. But that's pretty cool. And what else did you feel?
That was the only thing that texture that I felt was
Texture-wise,
like the wood grain.
and
yeah.
Katie, what did you feel?
I felt a lot of wood. I mean, I have drawn a branch, and I don't know why, but I got the image of a tire swing as well. That's where like the bumpy lumpy came in. And I drew the road as well.
And the road. Oh, that's pretty cool too. So, oh, I don't know what video to show. I suppose we should show the 5-minute video just for all three people because it's the longest video I shot.
Oh wow, the road and the boxes.
I'm gonna walk down to these train tracks. It is cool. It's crisp. Oh, and this is great because this is one of the wooden boxes I shot. There were 2 wooden boxes that really tripped me out. And I felt like I had to shoot them both. There's that circle, yeah. And I shot.
So it looks like somebody could go in the future with that thing.
Yeah,
it's a time machine.
Right? It's a time machine.
It's actually
and then right behind me,
but it might just be a circle.
This is the second wooden box I shot. So I want to show Dave and Katie both of these shots. Here's a box right behind me. There's the Olympic Training Center. But see that white box?
Very spaceship-like. Another box. Earlier there was a
That's very much Dave's box, but on the side. And the towers behind it very much are, skyscraper type Dave things too. I'm trying to look for that pyramid with a dot.
That's weird.
You had a sketch with a rectangle with a circle in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I think you may have been trying to look at that circle.
Yeah, that's what I did because on the other page I drew a big black dot and I put an arrow on it.
And that black dot you just watched when
and then
we
above
walked
that
past
in the
the
corner,
snow,
above that in the
it was
corner,
a pyramid with a black
it was
dot.
a brick symbol kind of. Like it was like 2 at the top and then 1 in the middle at the bottom.
Train tracks and construction.
I don't know. Maybe like those brick symbols were like crates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
keep in
possible.
mind, I spent only 15 minutes telling you guys how to do this.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was a total shot in the dark.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And
That's
then look
crazy.
at this graffiti. I tuned in on some of this graffiti, and I'm
Oh
wondering
yeah.
I'm
Look
wondering
at
if
the tracks. How you have the road, but that could be the track there.
yeah, that's true. That road thing. And there's a black something up there on that smokestack. I don't know what it is, but I wasn't even aware of it when I shot it.
Looks like a window.
Yeah.
But I have to get off to do my show.
Shoot, I tried to shoot some of that graffiti. I thought there was definitely money symbols in a couple of those graffitis. I didn't pause on them long enough. Oh, there's a little circle in the middle with a triangle. That bridge that goes across to the
yeah, look at that.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Tower looking things. And I don't know what that building is. It almost looks
The mountains.
Yeah.
Something stacked higher than something else. Look, stacked. That looks like the side of a crate. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is where I started zooming in.
It's like a metal box.
That says what?
Bunch of numbers.
There's an S. It looks backwards.
DIS1?
There's a S1 backwards.
Yeah.
There's a C and the S1 backwards. There's another S right there. I did a money symbol.
Yeah.
It might have been an S.
piles
And
of
then
dirt.
Katie was talking about textures and weird things. I picked up some dirt right here, and I kind of just felt it crawl through my hand.
And the more I drew that circle real hard, you could feel it. I kept touching it.
The one that might do you think that in any way might be the bridge with the circle and the triangle that leads over to the center?
I don't know.
Not a
I
block.
was trying to concentrate. I got like dates or like some time or money or something, and it just kept bringing me the money. And then when I kept closing my eyes to vision something and other stuff I was drawing, it was just weird. I drew like little bricks or something.
This is so
A
much
big
fun.
circle
I
with
want
a
to do this again.
arrow and a triangle
There's
pointing
my
towards it.
water.
Big circle with an
Your
arrow.
wall,
and a
yeah.
triangle.
I would
Okay,
like to
so
have Manu actually be a viewer.
yeah, I would love to try it. Have you? All right, so show the first video where I first come into Bear Creek Park. Somebody said they saw a wooden box with wooden. I think they even said blue or gray. I absolutely filmed a wooden box that had nothing in it, and I think it's in the first video in Bear Creek Park. Not the Bear Creek Park video, but not the rocks.
I'm not.
Maybe the rocks. Maybe it's the rocks. Show the rocks video.
Bricks are kind of made out of stone.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
the wooden box.
Yeah, somebody said that a wooden box, and then Dave drew
Mine
that.
drawn.
And bricks are like stone. I guess feel like rocks. That's what I
Yeah,
should felt.
for sure.
That's pretty cool,
weird.
honestly. The small amount of
Yeah, that
training
is
that
cool.
we got that much.
There's one more thing that I want to point out. Dave, can you
Okay.
pick up your drawing again? Yeah, zoom in on that top thing. I mean, I know you defined it as an earbud, but this is the last video that Manu had.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, one more thing that I had to capture while I was here, just because it's so odd. If anyone out there draws anything even remotely like this, I'm going to be very impressed. City bus, and look at that. What is that? What is that? That is a statue of a spherical ball and a big sphere and another sphere inside the sphere. And it's just so strange that it's over here.
With like a triangle next to it. Hey, he almost drew that.
Yeah, he almost did.
That's spot on.
That's awesome.
He almost drew that spot on.
Yeah, he's got the ball in the center and he's got the two spheres going around it. That's pretty good, Dave.
Wow.
And I was just sketching my earbud.
But there's a reason why you needed to do that. You know, like that's where your left brain comes in and is like, why did I want to do that? Just go with it. You know, just totally go with it. So
And Katie definitely got the wooden box. I mean, come on, that's an empty wooden box.
with the lines in the road.
Yeah, that too.
And where she got so much stuff that there's probably a lot that we didn't bring up. But did you see a lot in there?
Yeah, and Katie's stuff, I saw a ton.
Yeah.
What do you
Katie,
feel?
did
Do you feel like you saw some of that stuff, Katie?
Yeah, I do.
I'm
I mean,
impressed. I'm totally impressed. I thought we would get no results whatsoever in this short experiment.
I have to agree. I came into this very skeptical, right? Very skeptical. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna
I'm not
play
even gonna
along.
lie. That's why
I'm gonna smile and say, "Oh, this is great," but I don't expect much. But right now, what actually I think just blew me away was Dave's drawing of that circle with the little sphere. When you said, "Look at this," I'll be surprised if anybody draws anything like this. And Dave drew something almost exactly like that. I'm like, I'm actually starting to get a little nervous now. Like, this could be real. This could be real.
Hey, the government takes this seriously. I figure we should.
Yeah.
It's it's something that's in us. You know, we have the ability. My dad's this crazy hippie, and I love him, but he always says that he can tune into the future and he can transfer his body into different realities. But he always practices by seeing what card he's going to pick that morning, and he'll go upstairs and that morning he'll see the 5 of clubs and whatever, and he'll go upstairs and he'll draw a card and he'll be like, "Oh, 5 of spades, I was so close," So I definitely believe that intuition, and there's so many abilities that human beings have that we've been sort of programmed out of looking into. So this was a fun episode. And Michelle Freed, thank you so much. Tyson, I saw you kind of cheating and doing your own doodles during our thing.
No. At the very beginning, I didn't realize I was not going to be a participant. So I just started, and the two things I got was outdoor and dirt. That's the only two things I wrote down before I set this down. And I'm like, okay, co-host, I'm gonna let everybody else do it. I just wrote down two things: outdoor and dirt.
Did you see the end of the video where I step in the puddle, in the muddy puddle?
No,
yes. Well, I saw you grab the dirt and hold it and like touching the dirt, and I'm like, okay, well, I had a 50-50 shot about the indoor-outdoor, right? That's a 50-50. That's not a real thing. But then dirt, if you're outdoors, it's probably going to be dirt. So, I feel like
Katie hit the puddle. She did the
puddle.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unambiguous to say a puddle. Like, she could have said water.
No, she said puddle.
She specifically said puddle, and that's what it was.
And when I was walking back through there, I stepped in that puddle, and I had to turn around to show it because I was like, ew, damn, this dirt, these puddles, I have to show people this,
Yeah.
So.
Dave, what did you say that your psychic, was it you that's about your psychic group that said you're as psychic as a sock?
As a sock?
Yes.
You're better than a sock today.
Yeah.
And it's not psychic, right? It's
that drawing was spot on. I ain't even gonna lie. when he turned, I was like, Dave drew that.
Yeah.
When he stepped in the puddle, he was wearing socks. So you know what, Dave?
I got my socks wet. I did get my socks wet.
Oh my God.
There you go.
So thank you. We've gone over time a half an hour, but this was amazing. Michelle, thank you for everything you do for our show. Thank you for this fun experiment. This was a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks for having you. Thanks for coming on the show. Also, I hope a couple of months from now we can do a more thorough experiment with remote viewing. This was a lot of fun. Chuck, thank you for your comment. And next week, this is very exciting for me. We're going to have Vicki Joy Anderson, who is going to talk about something that I am absolutely terrified of because I've experienced this most of my life on and off. And when I saw the movie Nightmare, which was a documentary about sleep paralysis, I've been even more scared of the phenomenon that I experienced. But she's going to talk to us about sleep paralysis next week. So tune in for Vicki Joy Anderson. Michelle also got her booked as a guest for us. So thank you, Michelle. This was a really fun show. Thanks for everybody that participated. And we're going to do more things like this. So tune in, hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't hit them already. And we'll see you next week on Dangerous Thoughts.